We live in a country where the two most dynamic, charismatic, eloquent politicians of this century have the first names Barack and Zohran. This is what bothers the white supremacists so much. They're fundamentally un-American. And I'm not talking about the birth certificate. They hate everything that the United States is. For more proof, look at how they praise Canada, the anti-American nations of Europe, and tell us to be more like them. Okay, we're going to be talking about the United States of America, all right, what it is, what the left wants it to be, and how we have been exploited and really taken for granted. The United States, at this point, is kind of like that father who works day in and day out and on vacation at Disney was a little bit, they're like, why is dad grumpy? It's like, because he hasn't had a day's rest and he's doing all this stuff for you. And all he wants is a little bit of a thank you and get him a turkey leg, damn it.
Yes.
That's where that Canada will get to all of these socialists. Well, I mean, it's just, we're at that Israel. Hey, I know some of you guys are going to be confused. Which direction are we going today? But let's just walk through this first. So picture a United States classroom. Let's start with this. Okay, what does it look like? What did it look like when you used to go? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I can smell it.
It probably and hopefully, dear God, wasn't like this, what you see in New York City.
Swish, 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 swish. The wires on the bus go swish, 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 all through the town.
Wait, kids wear hijabs?
Yeah, I don't know when the crossover is.
You have to make your child hide her shame?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. And I just don't like that there's two gay socialists up there waving their limp wrists. And recess, by the way, looks quite a bit different at this school as well. But who doesn't love an ethnically enhanced version of dodgeball? More of that today.
That's tetherball.
No, she's tied up to the tetherball pole.
That's the whole point. She can't dodge.
They're throwing her rocks at her.
It's like a carny game. The outcome is guaranteed.
If you could dodge a stone, you can live.
Oops, too many stones.
So then Saturday, Mehdi Hasan wrote this on X. He wrote, we live in a country where the two most dynamic, charismatic, eloquent politicians of this century have the first names Barack and Zohran. This is what bothers the white supremacists so much. We're going to walk through this quite a bit, not just because I don't like him or either of those people, but first fact check, not true. He's obviously forgetting about the president who was so charismatic and eloquent that he garnered the most votes in American history with just one word.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put
Yeah, don't leave him out.
How eloquent. Come on.
Out.
Don't worry, he found the word.
I also don't buy this idea that Barack Obama was all that smart. I don't think he was an idiot, but they made it seem like he was a genius. There's a reason that his records are sealed, academic records. We still don't know to this day. There's a reason that he was the only head of the Harvard Law Review who was never published. Maybe he was charismatic. I never saw any wisdom from Barack Obama. I just don't believe it. People say, oh, he's one of the smartest. No, I'm sorry. I don't. As a matter of fact, I think Donald Trump is smarter than Barack Obama. That's just what I genuinely think that. I'm not just talking about how they communicate. By the way, Barack Obama would make words up and his grammar was awful. I don't think he was as eloquent as people say. But let's go into the most charismatic, most effective, eloquent. Let's go into Barack Obama, because a lot of you may be new to this. I know a lot of people voted for Barack Obama, then voted for Donald Trump. And that's why a lot of those people are going to go back and vote left while claiming to be MAGA. But race relations under Barack Obama, we all thought, hey, at least we have a black guy as president. We can kind of move past that.
Right.
The exact opposite happened. Race relations, they were the worst in my lifetime. They took a nosedive. So the percent of Americans who thought race relations were good, 2009, was about 60%, more than 60. By 2016, it was 37%.
Jeez. Ugh.
Now, why? Why? Now, that's not a small thing, right? Because that paved the way for all of the Black Lives Matter things that we saw. And to be clear, when people say, oh, Black Lives Matter happened under Donald Trump's watch. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It started under Barack Obama, the first black president. That's when we saw all of the race riots and the race wars. Why? Maybe because of situations like this. Remember when Trayvon Martin was shot? That criminal, they always ran his headshot from when he was, like 12 years old, and they didn't want you to know what he'd been up to lately. Here's what Barack Obama said. He said, when Trayvon Martin was first shot, I said that this could have been my son. If your son was an asshole.
Purple drink.
Likely.
Yeah. He also said that Michael Brown, remember Hands Up, Don't Shoot? Check these references. I was debating this long time ago before we ended up with George Floyd. There has never been an example that they claimed to be exactly how they claimed it to be. I know that sounds like a complicated phrase. They claim Michael Brown, innocent kid, couldn't be further from the truth. Same thing with Trayvon Martin. Same thing with Tamir Rice. Same thing with George Floyd. It all started under Barack Obama. He said that Michael Brown was killed, quote, in heartbreaking and tragic circumstances. Yeah, well, these were the heartbreaking and tragic circumstances. He had just finished assaulting a bodega clerk and then was beating Officer Darren Wilson in the head, reaching for his gun. By the way, an officer who was given an easy beat and asked to actually help serve the black community so that he could build up trust between them and the local police. So when people say, oh, Chauvin was a dick, by the way, I don't care. You can't say it about Darren Wilson. You can't. That man was effectively a saint. He was loved by the local community. Barack Obama, most eloquent, most articulate president we've had. You guys remember his 2009 apology tour? He apologized to Europe for American arrogance, which to me was just always so silly, considering I would argue it's arrogant for Europe to rely on us to defend them when they don't honor their contract and NATO spending. I almost think that's arrogant. I think taking someone for granted is arrogant. He also apologized to the entire Muslim world for Guantanamo Bay.
I don't.
I went to Guantanamo Bay when he did that in 2009 or 2010. You can go and watch that special. Of course, Barack Obama, most eloquent, effective, charismatic president. He was the one who, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. That's his major accomplishment. And the chief architect, John Gruber, said that the bill passed because of, quote, the stupidity of the American voter.
True.
And then in 2013, the PolitiFact lie of the year was if you like your health care plan, you can keep it. And remember, of course, everyone said it was racist for Joe Wilson to speak out and say, you lie, at that exact sentiment and phrase when Barack Obama was saying it. Do you guys remember Journalist? That took place. That was under Andrew Breitbart. It was leaked that the administration was sending talking points directly to reporters and journalists who, of course, wanted to be in the cool kids club, and they were doing it. Of course, we know the media was left. No one took advantage of it so blatantly as Barack Obama. Also, going back to the Affordable Care Act, 2013 to 2019, healthcare premiums went up about 130%. Not to mention, he murdered his own chef. Allegedly, definitely.
Well, that's not paddleboard attire.
No. Also, he's a for using a paddleboard. I'm going to tell you, there's nothing worse. There has never been a worse invention in the history of aquatic travel compared to the paddleboard. Let me make this less aerodynamic, slower, and less fun. You're not going to sell me on it.
It's a good workout.
Great. Yeah, dude.
I hear.
So get a surfboard or a canoe. Figure it out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you can make anything inefficient and claim it's a good workout. If I cut you off at the knees and tell you to go for a walk, it'll be the most strenuous workout of your life.
You should try a kayak.
Yes, a kayak, a rowboat, a canoe. For crying out loud, the Native Americans knew how to cut through water, and they didn't use the wheel. Just take a few pieces of birch wood, put some seal skin on the top of it for waterproofing, call it a day. Foundation Daily. All the daily vitamins and minerals you need, check. Clinical ingredients, check. At their clinically effective doses, check. And lab tested, so you know that what's on the label is exactly what you're getting. Foundation, fill in the gaps. Fill in the gaps that you might be missing. Go to foundationdaily.com today. Subscribe and save 40% for life. Help! Help! Mamdani. Let's go to the other eloquent man. Mamdani, of course, he loves Islamists, right? This is something that we all know. He hired al-Qaeda lawyer Ramzi Qassem as the city's chief attorney, who previously defended known terrorist Ahmed al-Darbi, pro-Hamas activist Mahmoud Khalil. He refused to condemn the Gracie Mansion bombing as an Islamic attack. And then he, of course, hosted that Ramadan dinner at City Hall. And for some reason, he refuses to eat with a fork. He's also a communist and a racist. Right? He believes in class warfare. He's a Marxist through and through, but he's open about it. He said, quote, that we must seize the means of production. He also said that we will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism.
Yeah.
And then he also said, I don't think that we should have billionaires. No real rationalization, just, I don't like it, so we shouldn't have it. And then he was surprised when more billionaires left New York.
Like, bye.
It's like, I don't think you should exist. I think I'm going to leave. Wait, no, wait.
Let me taxi on your way out.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Then he tried to create this citywide report to address racial equity, right? Basically saying white people, it's going to be uncomfortable for you for a while because that's the problem that New York City has, is white people. Now his
Hey,
current
I'm white here.
Hey, I'm white in here. His current director of he has this current director of the Office to Protect Tenants, and he said private property, including and kind of especially home ownership, is a weapon of white supremacy masquerading as, quote, wealth building public policy. So when young people say Donald Trump, this administration hasn't done enough, we don't think we're going to be able to own a house. Well, Mamdani doesn't think that you should be able to own a house as a young white person.
There you go.
He thinks the people who've saved nothing, who actually have contributed nothing in taxes, in many cases don't work at all, who've taken advantage of Section 8, should simply get your house.
Oh, he must love Plano, Texas, then.
Yeah. His wife is
Not a lot
also
of white
the worst. The worst. She, of course, liked that post saying that October 7th atrocities, that they were fabricated. She's liked many posts supporting, glorifying terrorists. What's so funny to me is they go, hey, hashtag not all Muslims, including my wife, who actively supports terrorism. All right, I guess the next Muslim who doesn't support terrorism, but you just don't have one in your orbit, do you, you piece of shit?
She doesn't support terrorism. She just likes it.
Yeah, she just likes it.
She doesn't support it.
She
She's just
dabbles.
Like, that's cool. Yeah.
And the Mets have lost 10 games in a row since Mamdani orchestrated this PR video.
Oh, he's hugging Mrs. Met and Mr. Met. Mrs. Met's a new character, by the way.
Is she?
Yeah.
I mean, it was Mr. Met, then the girls want one too,
Well, here's the thing. I'll allow it because is she thick?
You know
notice
what?
that.
Yeah, I did notice that, but I saw their shortstop, Francisco Lindor, on a Barstool podcast where they were talking about it, and they said, do you ever play better because she's out there and you see her and it inspires you? And he was like, nah, you'd be surprised who's under that suit. And I'm thinking it might be a Steven Crowder-esque bottom.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking it might be a guy in there with your butt.
This is unfortunate to find out on air.
Live. Maybe it's not true. Who knows?
Yeah. You know what? Let's just call it one of those.
We're unsure.
One of those Jillian Michaels partner/movie lesbians. That's what's under that suit.
There you go.
And I can continue guilt-free.
Unconfirmed.
Good.
What is confirmed is they haven't won since that hug.
Yeah, exactly right.
They're big losers.
Look, here's the thing. They just say, oh, the greatest in American history. We need to define what that is. American. They're fundamentally un-American. And I'm not talking about the birth certificate. They hate everything that the United States is. For more proof, look at how they praise Canada, the anti-American nations of Europe, and tell us to be more like them. They don't like the United States of America. The United States of America is based on rugged individualism. Now, that being said, they also don't like the idea that rugged individualism can only work if the building block of our society is the family, which they also hate. That's a byproduct of white supremacy. Home ownership, property rights, these are fundamental to the United States, uniquely in comparison to many other nations. They hate that as well. You tell me this. What part of the worldview of Barack Obama or Mamdani, what part of them are American? Matter of fact, what part of their worldviews are compatible with the original intent of the United States of America? Not even are they American patriotic. I don't think any of their views are compatible. I really don't.
No, not at all. And by the way, don't forget, why was he going on a world tour apologizing, especially to Europe in 2009? Barack Obama. It's not like he had time in office and made some mistakes and went on a world tour to apologize to people. He's apologizing for America being America.
Right.
First time on the job. And we know that because his wife said, this is the first time I've ever been proud of my country. Like, why are these people looked at? Obviously, I know liberal, leftist, Muslimist Mehdi Hasan is going to say that those people are the best of America because he doesn't want America to exist.
Think about that. We kind of gloss over that. A lot of people don't know. Michelle Obama said it was the first time she was proud of her country when she saw her husband become president. Bitch! But if he had not become president, that means that Michelle Obama would have continued living the rest of her life, never proud of the United States ever.
I think she still did.
And instead, she directly affected policy. As an unelected representative of the American people. Think about that. In this country right now, we have people with no skin in the game whatsoever, no vested interest in it. They pay nothing in taxes. They have no families. They vote solely for short-term gain, electing officials, representatives, who also have always, by their own admission, hated the United States of America. How is that a representative republic of the people of the United States of America? These are very simple questions, but we've gotten so far off the beam. Like, yeah, sure, that person who's done nothing but take social safety benefits, welfare, okay, Section 8, EBT, yeah. That person votes for someone who says they've never liked America. That works. That's the freedom we have in America. It's what makes us great, people will say. What? None of this makes sense. And no nation would have allowed it whatsoever before the new age of tolerance. Yeah. It's just like when the left says, the United States, I love freedom of speech. Well, not, of course, to question elections, and not, of course, to maybe question experimental medication, and not, of course, to question radical new transitional therapy for children. I support freedom of speech, when it involves burning and or shitting on the flag, because that's what makes our country great. Hey, if you're still watching this, you may be one of the 6 million or so subscribers on YouTube who is, for one reason or another, I don't understand it, still here. So back in the day, I would say click one of these videos and subscribe, but really just head on over to my channel on Rumble. Follow me there. I'm live 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, and I actually say the things that I mean to say. On YouTube, it's everyone here is kind of neutered, really, and there's just a general lack of testicular energy, but I mean that in the heterosexual way. Mostly.